Hello, G. Michael Vasey with the Earth Magic Brno YouTube channel. Well, this weekend we found the Templar female energy line passing through the 9 Crosses monument. The 9 crosses are literally 9 wooden crosses lined up on the roadside, close to the main Prague to Brno highway, the D1. It has a very bad reputation and there are many legends associated with the site. The newspapers here in Czechia often publish lurid stories of the place, and YouTube videos in Czech abound. So why would the Mokosh line pass through this monument at all? Well, Devet Krizu, or 9 Crosses, is quite well known, with a supposed sinister and tragic past. The legend, and there are several variants of it, has it that a wedding party was waylaid and murdered here by 2 desperate men. The perpetrator was in some versions named Veleslav, and he killed his companion in a fit of rage and then shot himself, for a total of 9 deaths. The background story has this Veleslav, a young, wealthy man, passing through the forest in 1539 and having some kind of an accident or perhaps getting sick. He's rescued and taken in by a local farmer and looked after by his rather beautiful daughter, a lady named Johanka. They soon fall in love, but the young man wishes to marry. Whilst the young man wishes to marry her, he needs to put some things in order or, in some variants of the story, prove himself, and he leaves the girl, promising to marry her. Well, time goes by and the farmer is keen to marry his daughter off to get the dowry, and so he forces her to marry a local wealthy man. Sometime later, of course, Veleslav returns on the wedding day, and distraught, he gets drunk in the pub, where he convinces another drunk to help him get his revenge. They waylay the wedding party and shoot them all, even accidentally Johanka. Veleslav shoots his companion because he shot Johanka, and then, reluctantly perhaps, turns the gun upon himself. There are variants of the story where Veleslav is a Hungarian traveller who needs to go home to set some things in order and so on, but the story fundamentals always remain the same: a tragedy. The crosses were said to have been erected by the monks at the nearby monastery of Hrad, and they are replaced periodically and reconsecrated, it's said, every 100 years. People still do visit the site, leaving flowers and lighting candles. The truth of the matter, though, is that in 1539 firearms were not easy to use, requiring a fuse to be lit. And the idea of shooting multiple people in a short space of time with such a weapon seems, well, difficult to say the least, and even a crossbow just doesn't seem to fit with the narrative. Furthermore, there's really no bones or bodies been found at the site, and there's no record of any such mass murder taking place in the historical records, which are actually pretty good for the period. The story is also remarkably similar to yet another story set in a different location. And the truth, perhaps, seems to be that there's no real substance behind this legend. It is probably just a legend, and the first mention of it that anybody can find comes from as late as 1880. There are excellent records of court cases and so on from the mid-1500s, just no mention of this particular tragedy. Then there's the link to those monks. 9 is an interesting number, isn't it? There are 9 crosses at the site. Each cross has 4 points, and 9 times 4 makes 36. 3 plus 6 adds to 9. The event took place, they tell us, in 1539. 1 and 5 and 3 and 9 also sums to 9. The cross in the middle is said to mark the girl's remains and is the centre of our Mokosh energy line as well. I had this verified by Eva. The 90 pace wide line has its centre where the largest cross representing the girl is to be found. 9 is the number of spiritual completion, wisdom and karma. It is also one side of the duality expressed by 69, yin and yang. There are many other ways to look at 9 using different systems, but it is an interesting number. The site is also thought to be more ancient than the event that is supposedly commemorated there. Given that the area is awash in female energies by virtue of the line, did it have special significance in terms of the divine feminine? Did the old monks use this legend to sully the reputation of the place and to drive the divine feminine away? Did they turn a place of divine receptiveness into a place to be avoided at all costs, a place of death, ghosts, accidents and evil? After all, it wouldn't have been the first time Christianity did that to the goddess now, would it? And what of the name of the murderer, Veleslav, reminiscent of the Slavic horned god of the underworld Veles, who would steal the wife of the sky god and take her to the underworld, echoing the story of Persephone? Would 9 perhaps be a reference to the 9 months in which she resides in the underworld with Veles, the god of the underworld? All, apparently, is not what it seems.